where people say men are more logical and females are more emotional actually comes from the brain. I think it's like the right side of the brain is logical and the left side of the brain is emotional. The right side is male, the left side is female. And when you talk about that, it's actually not talking about how...
Don't deny the fact.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. When you're talking about logical versus emotional, a lot of people tend to think that women mainly think with emotions and men mainly think with logic. That actually isn't the case. Men can be just as emotional as women, and vice versa. Women can be just as logical. If you look at the statistics today, if you look at the statistics today, more women.
It's about averages.
More women. Hold on, let me quickly finish. More women are actually going to university today compared to boys. So when you're talking about, women being more emotional, well, that's not always the case. Women can be very logical.
It depends on the dynamic.
Like, you can be emotional, but you don't have to rationalize your logic on that.
Fucking idiot. You're a woman, so let men talk.
But it's not logical right now to do this. But I am sad, but it's not logical, so I won't.
Okay. Ophelia, may I answer you? Like, women are emotional because women are mother. That's part of her personality and her shape even. So that means women are more emotional than men.
But emotion isn't a bad thing. Hold on.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But when you are emotional, you're not going to think logically.
She said wide, not bad.
We're more empathetic.
Well, here's the thing. When you're emotional, men like to use the word, you're acting emotional as an insult, when in reality, emotions are a whole range of feelings. Like, you can be happy and be emotional. You can be sad and be emotional.
Yeah,
emotions are a whole different range of things. So when people say, women are more emotional, really what they're saying is women are more compassionate because women prefer to think with our hearts rather than our heads. And when I say that, I mean, say if you're a police officer and you see someone stealing bread for their family, the logical way of thinking would be to lock that person up because he just stole bread, where a compassionate way of thinking would be to let that guy go because you realize he's just doing that to feed his family.
And how about the owner of that shop? Yeah.
But I think
maybe the owner of that shop, he lost a lot of money because that guy stole it. No, fucking idiot. Just hold on. Maybe the owner of that shop, he lost. Really? Maybe he can't. Maybe he's a worker.
No. If you own a shop and you don't have a bond, and you don't have
maybe he stole it from a worker.
You're not doing it right.
It all depends on the situation, Nora.
That's why you said it.
Yeah,
you
sure.
You said it. It's all depends on the situation, which means we need a rational person. And that rational person is a man, not a woman, because you already said, Ophelia, women are emotional and she's going to be biased. So we need a person.
Being emotional. So being emotional isn't a bad thing because what you're saying is a classic point of view from a male way of thinking, because you're thinking, well, the owner of that shop had to pay for that bread. But in reality, the bread isn't going to cost that owner that much. Yes, in the end of the day, you shouldn't steal. But, when you look at it in the aspect of why that person is stealing, a female is going to be much more compassionate to that reasoning compared to a male.
Maybe he got no purpose. He just want to mess around. He just want to steal. But he going to cry to that woman.
Isn't that emotional?
No. Let me finish. He going to cry to that woman and the woman going to feel sorry to him and she going to give him more opportunities to steal more and more and more and more. Maybe he's going to steal a bank because of that. Yeah, it's just like butterfly effect.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Empathy and agreeableness destroys societies. That's why women need to be held in check.
Exactly. Like, if you are starving, you can steal.
This is a thing. Women don't need to be held into check. I think it's the male concept that women need to be held into check because, the Bible tells them so. in reality.
Fuck no, you guys have proven it.
So your beliefs on women need to be below men stem from religion. And religion has perpetrated this lie for a reason, because they don't want women to think for themselves. Because if women don't think, then it's easier to just control half the other half of the population. And this is what they've been doing for years, centuries even. So, you know, when you refer
we need
to
to
the
be
Bible,
ruled by a woman, the universe needs to be ruled by a woman.
But if you look at history, when women actually started to get in power, when women actually started to go out in the workplace, that's when women started to get power.
Look at what happened.
Yeah, but listen, when that happened, it was a good thing to the economics, to the country. It was a good thing to the entire nation.
Fuck economics.
Like, because women were working, the men could go out in war.
If men and women supported women better,
operating without the women, you know. So therefore, they wanted women to work, and that's why America started to make women to work more.
But if
they accepted that, no, it's true. Listen, this is history, and that helped the country, and then it has helped the country in economic ways and also in like social ways in the structure. But when something overtakes something, it is never good. So like if male have too much power, it's not good. If females to get too much power, that won't help society either. And that's what's happening now. We need to have balance.
Can I just bring something up real quick?
Society. That's the best society. That's where the most happiest societies
give Sava
are.
a chance to speak.
If you look at the world
women
countries,
destroy society.
Do you guys remember?
And compare them to each other, and compare like their systems, and compare what works good. You know, you get the top rank, and you can see which countries they are, and you can see like, oh, what have actually this have probably contributed to society. You need to dissect like every subject.
Fucking idiot. I have 2 words. Pointy bra.
Pointy bra.
Remember when men ran things? Pointy bra.
Okay. Sava. Many women,
and that's about all women. Then that's about all women were able to fucking sort out for themselves.
Yeah, but don't you realize something? If we go back to history, many women they manipulate men to create war and chaos. Many women.
Women?
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, many women. Like the great Alexander.
Women.
The great Alexander, he's been brainwashed by his mom.
Men can't go.
Many women.
That is. I have no idea what you're talking about when you say that.
Come on.
Well, I know what he's talking about. So
even Adam and Eve, he got kicked out of the heaven because he like whispered in his ears, "Eat that apple."
Wait, what is this based on? What are you talking about?
I can mention this. So if you look at English history, I'm pretty sure it was Henry VI's wife. She was the main reasoning for the War of the Roses. She pretty much pitted her husband against this other dude, and yeah, it went really messy, and that's what the War of the Roses happened, because of a woman. And if you look back even to Cleopatra started a lot of stuff being the rule of Egypt. Like, even though they say that Cleopatra was one of the most famous empress, she was a very devilish empress.
And that's
sure they didn't demonize her?
Yeah.
I mean, mother. She was.
Imagine a woman. Her boyfriend got killed in a war. She's gonna destroy that country.
She was a prophet, and she slept with snakes.
There is no woman a prophet. A fucking idiot.
I didn't say prophet. You listen to what I say, Nora. Don't cut me off. Anyways.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. So she was very interesting, because she got married to the king, to the father of Alexander the Great. And the king was afraid of her, because like, you don't want to sleep in a bed with a woman that sleeps with snakes, you know. But she was crazy in the way she was so
she was smart.
Yeah, but she was so into religion. She was a high prophet of that time, of some old priestess, ways. I don't remember, but she she stopped the whole war because they were afraid of her and her powers. Because at that time people were very believable in like magic, and it was like
superstitious.
it was, yeah, they were very like, they believed in that so hard. Everyone did. It was just like common knowledge that magic did stuff. And it's not like it is today. And so when she walked out there, uh, in the middle of like the battleground, she just got out there and stood there, and then the war just, they went the other way. They didn't fight because she just walked out there. There are stories about her, and
So
she
you
was
finished?
the mother.
You done?
And
There is no
Alexander
woman
the
as a
Great conquered
prophet.
the whole world, so that's interesting.
Fucking
But
idiot.
See, I
Just let me.
feel like when we're
anyway,
No, no.
talking about history,
Okay, like just hold
when
on,
we're
hold on,
talking
hold on.
about
Hold on. Let me correct her. There is no woman
what?
a prophet.
what's
There is no
prophet?
prophet is a woman.
But,
She said a prophet.
but listen,
What's prophet?
Nora,
Then
this is history. This is
prophet
before.
is something.
This is
It's
before
advocate of God.
Islam even existed. This is before.
No,
There's
No,
only
listen.
one advocate of God, and that's Jesus.
When did
historically
Alexander
speaking,
the
historically
Great
speaking.
exist? Which time era did Alexander the
Okay,
Great
okay.
exist?
Okay. Ask Not. He's a Christian. He's a Christian. Go ahead, Not. Do you think there is a woman a prophet?
But she
Only
was at
prophet
that
is Jesus.
time.
No, there isn't.
But look at the
There's
history.
no man that's a prophet either.
It's not
There were
goes this way,
oracles at that
Sava.
time.
You
Man,
don't
There
have
were
It's
to
not
be
a
women
man or a
who
woman.
Christian.
It's
were
Jesus.
Like
being
either my way
oracles.
or the highway.
he
It
was
doesn't work
born
like
as a
that, Sava.
man.
There were
Please,
all
like
kinds
Jesus
of
told me
people.
himself.
Jesus
Women
told
used to
you.
come in
Come on,
different ways.
Sava.
Yeah.
Are you talking seriously?
Yes. I told you
So
already.
what Jesus was? If there is no okay, if there is no man as a prophet, so what Jesus was?
If there ever was a prophet, it was Jesus and Jesus alone. No man.
He's a man, right? So Jesus what?
Jesus is the advocate between people and God.
Okay.
No such thing
But
as a prophet.
historically speaking, there is no
That's
man
a Jewish thing.
is a prophet.
Think about it. Prophet.
So a woman. Come on, are we gonna bring the Jew?
I'm not even religious, so I'm not really well versed with this whole is a woman a
But yeah,
prophet, is it not?
Ophelia,
Really, it
Ophelia,
doesn't
the
really
woman got
phase me.
Can women be
Ophelia.
guru? Huh?
Here's the thing,
Like,
right? I feel like when you're pointing towards history, you can use a lot of scenarios to validate your own argument. Like, you can look at female women throughout history that have created wars over nothing, but you can also point to women throughout history that have actually created wars for a reason, like, to avenge their family, avenge what has happened to them. So have you ever heard of the story Boudica?
yeah, I'm kind of familiar, but go ahead, tell us.
So Boudica was a queen of a Celtic tribe in England. And back in the day, her husband had an alliance with Rome. And after he passed away, he wanted Rome to co-rule with his daughters. Rome decided to just take the land for themselves and push his family out. And when they went to England to claim the land, the Roman soldiers whipped Boudica and raped her daughters. Boudica, instead of just running away with her tail in between her legs, she actually went around the surrounding tribes and united the tribes. And she went around all of England, full pillaging and, destroying Roman settlements. She even burnt down London. she was eventually defeated by the Romans. But I feel like Boudica's story is a very empowering story for women, because, you know, the Romans were actually so scared of Boudica that they were thinking of withdrawing altogether from England because of Boudica. So, you know, when you look through history, there will always be a strong female figure and weak female figures. And the same with males. There will always be a weak male figure and strong male figures. It's like with the War of the Roses that I was talking about. That war may have been started by a female, but in reality, her husband, King Henry VI, I'm pretty sure his name was, he was a very feeble-minded person. And if he wasn't so feeble-minded, that war also wouldn't have started. So we can't just always blame the female.
Yeah. Yeah,
So you try.
No. Yeah.
So you try to say like women are good leaders more than men.
No, it's
what I'm saying is, so that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can find good female leaders and you can find good male leaders, but you can also find really terrible male leaders and really terrible female leaders. I don't think one's more suited compared to the other.
Yeah, but let's focus on one.
This is so sad, bro. This is so sad.
Sad.
Yeah,
Why?
but women get pregnant. Women get pregnant. Women get period. Like, with all due respect, women get pregnant. Women get period. This kind of things. She can't be a good leader because she's some sort kind of like became moody. We can't trust her judge. That's it. Like, this is the woman nature.
That's a very narrow-minded way to think about it.
The reason it's sad. The reason it's sad is because, like, you guys just have these opinions, and it's like so much effort to convince you guys otherwise. It's like sad.
Okay.
The reason.
Anyways.
Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
So, I would like to rebut your point. So, with women being pregnant, not making good leaderships, I would actually argue that would make them better leaders, only because when a woman falls pregnant, she's actually thinking about someone other than herself. Like, if you've ever seen a pregnant woman ever, she's always obsessing over her baby.
Agonized.
And I feel like a good leader will care about someone other than himself. And women possess that power. Women possess the power of being completely selfless. So when we're talking about who can be more selfless, a man or a woman, I would say every time a woman.
Have you ever had kids?
I haven't had kids, but I would say that every woman that I've met that has had kids.
So how would you know what it's like after you've had kids and how you feel about the world?
You don't have to give birth to a
kid. Because, okay, so I can answer this. Both my sisters, all my sisters have kids actually, but I don't really have much to do with my older one. But two of my sisters have kids, right? What I personally witnessed when they had kids, their partners did stuff all. Like, if anything, they would, like, you know, want a medal for changing a diaper or nappy, like, once in a blue moon. Men are not responsible, especially when it comes to their kids. Like, if anything, women really do have to be the powerhouse when it comes to that.
This is all irrelevant to the point. The point is that
when your missus, so when your missus had her baby,
let me finish.
Hold on, let's get to the bottom of it. So, I want to know. When your missus had her baby, how much work did you put in compared to her?
I'm not going to let you say it.
Yeah, how much work did you put in compared to her? Even want to answer that because you know you're one of those blokes that change a nappy here and there and want a gold medal for it.
Okay, can we ask
So this is the
Val?
whole thing. Is you just make assumptions like you know people. When have we met?
We know that you're always on Telegram.
Sorry to you always make assumptions about me. And then you get all butthurt when I make assumptions about you. Get the fuck over yourself.
I'm not butthurt. Like, this is the whole thing that's so funny is you always say I get butthurt.
I'm butthurt. You're butthurt every single time you don't have a rebuttal and you just want to be like, this is fucking stupid. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Fucking stupid women. You don't even have a rebuttal. You just want to insult people. Mate, you're an idiot.
So I'm just gonna go back to this anyways. I'm just gonna go back to this anyways to make my original point.
All right.
Women are fucked. Women are fucked up.
Women are not stupid.
Hold on,
they're
Jovi,
just
Jovi,
women.
shut up for a second.
Only
women are fucked up after they have kids. They've got so many hormones going through them. They don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, and they also a lot of the time get depressed. So your idea is just flawed.
The reason why women are not stupid is because men are to be taken seriously as intelligent.
I wonder what
when a man is not intelligent, then you call him stupid. You don't expect women to be intelligent.
Fucked up after pregnancy because she gets little to no help. And I've witnessed this firsthand when it comes to my sisters.
That's not true at all, actually.
Let me ask you.
And this is the thing, Noah. Now you get to see how emotional these retard cunts are. They always want to get emotional and always want to.
Let's not make it personal.
Let's
not make it personal.
What do you want me to do?
Alright, can I say
When
something?
fucking females say shit acting like they're tough, but they're literally zero.
Wait a minute. Can I say something now?
Let Jovi talk. Go ahead, Jovi.
When women are pregnant, they're overtly emotional. We all notice this, right? So when they're emotional without being pregnant, just imagine the way they are when they're pregnant.
When they're supported,
when a woman
they're not as emotional. They get emotional when they're not
happened
supported.
To me, actually.
And when
I was with a woman, right?
Listen, this is how these women act when they have a rebuttal. No, they're all in here fucking hugging each other and loving each other. And
look,
they act like
you guys can't speak for us, and we can't speak for you.
Hold on.
That is exactly what you do in main VC not. You get with all your little sexist buddies and then you start attacking women.
Nothing to do with sexism. This has to do with biology. Okay, so a woman definitely is going to be emotional, right? A woman not only is emotional but illogical. So I called my father, right? I was dealing with a pregnant woman, right? So I called my father.
What do you mean dealing?
And I asked him, because he's had 5 kids already. So I was like, okay, this man knows exactly what to do. Okay, when you're with a woman that's pregnant and she says the most horrible things to you, what do? You know? And then he said, you know what? She's going to say the most horrible things, but you just got to stick it through. And yeah, that's the way it is. Women will say the most evil things when they're pregnant.
And men won't?
No, because the thing is, men are not affected by pregnancy the way women are. What are you talking about? We don't get pregnant.
Men can also get postpartum depression.
We affect you.
Yes, we actually get pregnancy cravings
by women when
we get pregnancy cravings as well. Like we kind of have
men are the ones who just don't understand.
Well,
when your woman's pregnant, it's like a synchronicity. So you will feel the same thing she feels. You'll have the same cravings. You might get emotional. It might happen. But anyways,
I've seen men time and time again be just like the pregnant woman.
Wait, what? What did you say?
I've seen men be just like the pregnant woman as far as cravings and emotions go. They empathize.
Yeah,
empathetic men can do that.
Go through the same thing. It's like phantom. I forgot what it's called, but it's like I dealt with that with this girl. Like she was pregnant, and I did the same thing. I was eating the same stuff she was eating. We were like basically sharing the same type of emotions in a way. But it's because there's that connection, you know? It's like it says it in the Bible, when a man and a woman become one flesh, that is marriage. So that becoming one flesh also means that is a part of you growing inside of her. It's 2 people that take to make one child. I don't know why women think that it's all that.
Did you know that men actually come from women? That little string that men have between their balls, that little line that goes between your balls, before men become men, they are women in the female body. So that's why you have that string, because that could have been a pussy, but now you're a dude, so now it's a dick.
What the
And
hell are
have
you talking
nipples.
about?
Not make it degenerate.
What does that have to do
Can
with?
we not make it
What does that
degenerate,
have to do
fucking
with?
idiot,
If
please?
you're gonna speak scientifically
Don't
and
make it
biologically,
degenerate, fucking
and
idiot,
that's how
please.
it
Don't
is.
make it degenerate,
Oh, so
please.
you're saying when a man
This
grows a
this isn't
penis?
this isn't a conversation. This isn't a conversation, and this isn't a debate. This is literally like me and Jovi haven't been able to make a single point. These fucking women just keep speaking over us. Like,
Yeah,
what type of
please,
conversation
please,
is
fucking
this?
idiot. You're derailing. You keep derailing, to be honest. That's not even.
Fucking idiot. What are you talking about? It's all of them. What are you talking about? It's every single one of them.
No, but you were
Point
talking
then.
about
Make a point without calling us stupid and an idiot and we're women, and that's an excuse of why we should have an opinion. Like, that's not a fucking rebuttal, mate.
All right.
The
When it
point,
comes to
the
women,
point is,
right?
Ophelia, like, you can make a point without being degenerate. That's it.
Yeah.
My
So
Agree,
no,
but making a point, I agree, but making a point isn't being like, oh, women are stupid. This is why they shouldn't have the right to vote, and then you just shut the fuck up. Like, that's not a point. That's just trying to belittle people.
I agree with you. That's not a point.
no. Look, it's not to belittle women. We think women are focused on the wrong things. That's why we get upset. It's like if you have a son that's talented, right? And let's say he's great at drawing, or he's an artist, but yet he'd rather spend his time watching movies and doing something else. You're gonna be disappointed. It's like you were built for this, but yet you're doing this. That's how we feel as men when we look at women. Women were built for so many great things in this world, and yet they try to compete with men for what? There's no competition. We're not the same. We're two different beings. We have different types of goals in life, but at the same time, we also have different types of enemies. So it's just like we see, like, as men, what's going on with societal decay, with what's detrimental to society. And
So what's your point, Joby?
So I feel like the
What's my
problem,
point?
Joby.
What's my point? Women,
Well, here's the
women
thing,
need
right?
to know their place. Women need to know their place in society, and men are going to have to put them there. And if you don't like it, you're just going to have to deal with it, because guess what? You don't have great direction where you're going right now.
This is what I said.
No, listen here.
Heterosexual women, yeah, they have a place.
Everyone. Right now, I have a great example of a female being more logical than a male in this chat. Okay, so before Joey was saying, "Oh, women," I don't remember what you said exactly. Women are stupid or something.
So you don't remember what I said, but you know
You are
that you're
logical,
more
fucking idiot,
than I am.
And then
by
Ophelia
changing the
said,
history.
"Oh,
You just
but
vandalized
point
the
that you
history,
think
fucking
we
idiot, by
can.
saying women are fucked.
listen now. That's
Poor
not
Finny. Come on.
That's not making a point." Ophelia said to you, Nora, and you agreed, Nora. No, that's not making a point. I don't remember what he said, but I know that's why Ophelia commented, and you, Nora, said, "Oh yeah, that's not making a point. I agree," right? So that's
like
when he was more emotional than a woman. That's
No. Sasha just said at the end of it, "What's your point?" That was it.
She was talking about
That's
not
not an argument.
me.
That's not a
Because I thought
rebuttal.
you were arguing against
jealousy,
a
being
point,
angry,
but it
being
sounds like
sad,
you're arguing for it. So I don't know what the argument is here.
Mischievous, being happy, being euphoric. Like, there are so many emotions you can have. It's not just being crazy and sad. That's not like, oh, you're emotional. Like, yeah, but you're so emotional too, but in different ways. And in some ways, you are more emotional than females. Men are more emotional in, like, being impulsively angry.
That's emotion. They're more
This is the whole thing. Just to go back.
Well,
to
our
emotions
doesn't trump logic. Your emotion.
But sometimes it doesn't trump logic when you get into this pulsive state, and you.
When I came into this chat, you guys were trying to belittle not as a father, and of course he has every right to be emotional about that.
I didn't even get emotional about it. I don't care. These guys, none of these guys have kids.
But if you were to be emotional, it's understood.
Useless in their natural form, what they're supposed to do.
Look, I just think at
This
the end
is
of the
the
day,
sad reality. All right. So this is where I tend to stick up for women, because I feel like
you
the
always
problem is
women,
men
and
thinking
that
that women have one purpose and one purpose only. When, we talk about men, we talk about all the great things men can achieve, what they can do, all this stuff. Like, we know that men have more uses than just impregnating a woman. But yet when it comes to a woman, the only use in a man's eyes is her becoming pregnant. And this is the problem that I have. See, I feel like when women want to have a career, they're best off doing that after they've found their right person. Because, unfortunately, women that are career driven at the start are going to have less of a chance finding the right man because of so many factors that play into it. You know what I mean? Like, women don't date men that tend to make less than them and all these other reasonings. So in my personal opinion, I feel like it's just better that way. But at the same token, I don't feel like a woman's only purpose is to have babies and just to be a stay-at-home mum. Like, I think, I personally, when I have kids, want to be home with them. But at the same token, if a man was to say to me, that's my only purpose, I would highly disagree. Like, we don't feel this way about men. I personally don't feel this way about men. So why is it men only look at me for one good reason and one good thing only?
Listen, here also,
what's
like
wrong with
in
seeing women
classrooms,
what's
when
wrong with
there
seeing
are more
women
men
as
than female in it, it becomes
hold
messy
on,
in
I
class.
think
The
Ophelia asked
teacher
a question
can't
about
control it.
men.
The
Hold
teacher
on, I
can't
think
control
Ophelia
it.
asked a
But
question
if
about men,
it's
so I'm
men
responding as a
doing
man.
like
You fucking
men,
idiot.
All
Can
right.
you
it's
shut
more
up?
balanced.
We're hearing enough of women. You
It's
guys are just
more
fucking all
common.
agreeing with each other.
All right,
It's
listen,
annoying as
listen,
fuck. We don't need to
listen.
hear
This
more
is
of your
how I see
bullshit.
it. This is
And
how
when
I
it's
see it, right?
only
Why,
females,
the
then
thing
get
is, right, if men could do only
See,
one thing
idiot,
and
can
one
you let
thing
Jody
only,
respond quickly?
okay, do you think if men could do one and one thing only, do you think that they would be upset that you're telling them that they can only do that? I'm pretty sure that not only would they do it, but they'll be the
That's
best
the
at it as much as
problem.
possible.
Hold on.
If
That's the problem I'm talking about. You just stated it right there. Women don't only women aren't only capable of doing one thing and one thing only, and that is my point. Women are capable of doing many things, but you ignore that constantly to validate the fact that women
You
should
should
only
be
ever be
quiet.
in the
You should
kitchen.
be
And
okay,
quiet
this
and
is
so
my
listen to
so
him.
problem.
instead
Be
of being
quiet.
a mother,
Be quiet and listen
instead
to
of
what
being
he
a
actually
mother, what would
said.
you like to do, Ophelia? Instead of being a mother, what would you like to do? What would you like to do in society that you can prove men wrong, that women aren't weak? Which we don't think women are weak because we know childbirth takes a lot of strength, and we do realize raising
Women
children
aren't
takes a
weak.
lot of strength.
Women aren't weak. See, I don't like it when when men say that women are weak and men are strong. Here's the thing: biologically, men are more stronger. But to say a woman is weak because of her strength, that is not the only way you measure strength. If anything, I reckon women have a more stronger mindset than men. And I say this because women have, you know, women physically have to put up with way more than a man does. And I know you guys are going to disagree with me, but that is my honest opinion. Women put up with way more psychological abuse, mental abuse,
Caused by
stuff
men.
that put up on their shoulders. Like, you just don't understand how much a woman has to deal with. And women are very mentally strong people. So I do not
Fucking
believe women are
victim
weak.
mentality
If
through and
you
I
through.
mention
You're on the
refuse to believe
on
that.
the victim.
A woman never has to deal with a child being carried by the opposite sex and then killing that child without telling the opposite sex. Men have to worry about that. You know how many men today are afraid to impregnate a woman
yeah,
because they
that's
don't know
one
what might be
aspect.
the outcome?
One
Gotta
aspect,
wear
but
a condom.
the entire reality of
No, no,
life.
no, no. It's not about wearing a condom. It's about
Okay, so
understanding that
Jovi,
women, hold
Jovi,
on, women will tell
just
a
to
man,
prove
You'll
my
have to
women,
carry
point,
the
women
baby,
have,
so
women
it's not
have
your
been
safe.
telling men,
Women have to
women
carry the
have been
baby.
telling men lies, right? And these men believe in it, right? But then you want to say, oh, it's their fault for believing it. It's a woman's fault for even saying these things. Like a woman will lie and say
Okay.
that she wants children. How many
Mm.
guys do you know had a woman, thought that they were going to have a family together, and that woman decided to abort the
Well, did
child?
he ask her to
How many
marry
do you
him?
know? How many of you know someone like
It
that?
also
How many of those
happens the
guys
other way
actually were
around.
married?
But there's no justification for abortion. But there you go. Being a woman, you're trying to find it.
But
Okay,
it
so
also
what do you
happens
think
vice
about
versa, though,
what do you think a
Jovi.
woman
There's
feels
plenty of women,
when she has to
but
have
there's
a
plenty
baby
of
with a man
women
she doesn't want
out
to be with?
there.
That happens the other way around a lot more, I can say. But
That's not
I
true.
think that
Because
people
a
need to
man
think
cannot,
twice
but
before
a
having
man
sex
cannot abort.
outside
A
of a
man
marriage.
cannot abort a child. It's
so
all
many
through a woman. A man cannot abort a child. It's all through a woman. The
Well,
the
you
closest thing
actually
a man
guarantee that child will be aborted if you didn't man up and marry her first and keep your dick in your pants meantime.
But why are you trying to justify killing a baby? Your own child, mind you.
No. How are you going to justify having sex outside of a marriage?
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about women having abortions.
Yeah, but what led up to that? What it takes two to tango. What led up to that?
Yeah, exactly. It takes two to tango. Was she raped? No, she made the same.
No. It's a guy. You'll hear stories all the time about a guy down and broken,